morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Mucking Fonday. Did you have a good weekend? Was it as crap as everyone else is saying it was? I have no idea, but we're going to tell you some news stories that are happening today and from the weekend to let you know what you might have missed in case you did what I told you to do and not paid attention to any of it over the weekend. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before the show. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those headlines and roll that segue wheel. Today on Mucking Fonday. Socialists to face far-right candidate for Portugal's presidency. And Indian tourists shout Jai Maharashtra in Paris and get criticized.
Happy Monday, I guess, but we do have a train crash, a train collision.
Hello?
Yeah, well...
Oh, you're disconnecting.
Oh, really? Again?
Yeah, say it again.
I'm disconnecting. All right. Say. And happy Mucking Fonday, I guess, where we're going to talk about a train collision in Spain.
In sports news, Djokovic equals 2 all-time records and wins his 100th match at the Australian Open.
And speaking of train wrecks, as I was just talking about, Trump's protectionist trade policies and his disaster of no job creation last year.
And in my culture news, the European Film Awards of 2026 occurred, and Sentimental Value sweeps the board.
And it's National Imagination Day, so I want you to imagine that we're not having technical difficulties. On January 19th, 2026, on Before Coffee.
What's a little show without little technical difficulties? Don't let anyone fool you. Everyone has technical difficulties. Especially shows like this, right? Daily news shows where it's all, we're doing it live, right? It's always going to happen.
Right.
You know, it's always going to happen.
Bill Riley. Yeah, maybe, let me do a little computer maintenance while you read the story, but spin the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, right, the wheel would also be buggy and it wouldn't go off, and I'm like, oh my god, why is this happening?
I forgot to clean a weekend's worth of gunk off my computer.
Yeah, exactly. It's all full of the bullshit that we have to troll through in order to find good stories here. All the gaslighting.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of a bunch of assholes trying to use my computer power to run whatever.
Exactly. Crap well, I know you've been up already today, so I think you'll be awake enough to give us a limerick for our first news story. We have 2 news stories here. They're kind of short, so I'll try to make them a little longer, just so you'll have time to write your limericks.
Hold on now.
This first story is coming out of Portugal. There was an election in Portugal, and it looks like the socialists are going to have to deal with a far-right candidate for president. This is from Eurocitiv. Portugal's socialist candidate won the first round of presidential election and will face the far-right candidate in the second round, near complete results showed yesterday, the 18th of January. With votes from 95% of constituencies counted, socialist Antonio José Seguro was leading with 30.6% of the vote, while far-right contender André Ventura came in second with 24.2%. The liberal candidate João Coutrim Figueiredo was in third place with 15.5%. So that's where the rest of it went. And then the probably other 4, 5, 6 other people, right, had smaller percentages in there. Ventura and Seguro will face off on February 8th to decide who succeeds conservative incumbent Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa. Opinion polls in the run-up to the election had suggested that Ventura was the favorite for the first round, but they were wrong. He was 6% lower than the first place Seguro. This will nevertheless be the first time a far-right candidate has made it to a second round of the presidential race. During the campaign, Seguro had argued that he was the only one capable of defeating Ventura's extremism and had called on all Democrats to unite behind him. And now they can, because it's just going to be them two. I think, if I remember correctly, how this type of presidency election works is people who want to be president go in, you vote for him. Whoever gets a certain amount percent, you have to reach a certain percent, right? And I think it's like you have to reach 20% or something. And if you don't get 20% or higher, they're just not going to put you in. It's like, nobody's going to vote for you, dude. Just go home. So that's why this is basically just a Seguro versus Ventura election. If Figueiredo was able to reach 20%, it would be another three-way election. But he didn't make it this time for the second round, I think. Oh no, this was the first round. So the second round will just be between the far right and the socialist parties. Which is probably why he got such a high vote, because some people did unite behind him. While the role of president is largely ceremonial, in times of crisis, the incumbent can dissolve parliament, call elections, or dismiss a prime minister. That sounds like something you don't want a fascist to have access to. Portugal's prime minister, right-winger Luís Montenegro, said he would not be giving any advice on who to vote for in the second round. His majority government already relies on Ventura's Chega party for support to implement some of its policies, but he's not going to outrightly say he supports him. Probably because he doesn't want a far-right guy to be in charge of his job. The far-right guy's going to be like, you're not far enough. Yeah, I'm a right-winger, not a far-right winger. So that's not going to work. This is the first time in 4 decades that no candidate has won outright in the first round by securing more than 50% of the vote. Ventura said he felt very confident after casting his vote in the sunny capital. We cannot spend our time criticizing things and then sit on the couch on the day we are called to make a decision, he said. I believe in the good sense of the Portuguese, said Ventura after voting in his home city of Caldas da Rainha. As he finished his first round campaign, he called on other parties on the right not to stand in his way if he makes it to the second round. And in his final election rally, he toughened his tone, saying he would refuse to try to please everyone and promising to put some order into the country. Voting in Lisbon, Alexandre Leitão, a 50-year-old biologist, said he had voted left-wing to stave off the very negative shift towards the far right. We young people are not happy with the country we have, said 33-year-old Irina Feresteriaru. She said public approval of Ventura was a warning sign for the country because people are desperate to see change, even if it's bad change for everyone. Analysts say Ventura has his sights set on eventually running the country as prime minister. Andre Ventura is running to keep his voter base, said Antonio Costa Pinto, a political scientist at Lisbon University. He's just trying to keep his name in there. No, he doesn't want anyone to forget about him. Chega's party emerged as the biggest opposition party in parliament after a general election last May, overtaking the socialists. Another solid result for the coming right would confirm its domination over the political landscape, consulting firm Teneo said in a note. EU and Eurozone member Portugal accounts for around 1.6% of the bloc's economic output. I guess they mentioned that to say how important they care. Portugal, fuck Portugal, they're not important. I don't know why that's at the end there. That's what it sounds like they're saying. 1.6% of our GDP, fuck Portugal, who cares? They can be far right if they want. I don't know what the point with the... Why they said that at the end. But there's my story on the first round of elections.
Hey, I got a limerick for you.
Give it
Out
to me.
in the land of Iberia. Okay. We must have a delay here because I already started.
We always do.
It's more of a delay today, it seems like. Get your shit together, Starlink. Anyway, or whoever we're going through, right? At some point, we're going through them assholes. Nothing personal. Our limerick. Out of the land of Iberia, 24% of voters for fascist hysteria. But they have not real power. Just news for the hour. Lisbon has more sense than America. Specifically, this piece of land I'm living on. What's Maryland has more sense than the rest? We're just going to blame the South. The South is.
It's just so easy, isn't it, when they're doing the worst job?
It's the South. It's the South, man. They drag us down educationally. They milk our government of resources.
I know a lot of leftists say the only solution to fixing the South is for everyone to move from California and Maine or whatever, where all the people live, right? Where all the leftists live. They need an Oregon. They all need to move to the South and then just gentrify it and turn them blue by moving there.
Let Texas be their own country and let the rest of those southern states that wanted to be part of Confederacy, let them do that, right? Go on. I think that'd be a perfect solution. Just, have embargoes with everybody if you want, but we don't want embargoes. We don't want your next story, I think.
Embargoes are bad.
No? Right.
Okay, let's go to our next story.
So our super delay.
I was just making sure you were done speaking. My next story is about some drama in France because French people have opinions. This is from the Press Trust of India. Coming out of Mumbai. A viral video showing a group of Indian men chanting slogans like Jai Maharashtra, Jai Shiv Sena, and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja Ki Jai near a street performer in Paris has sparked outrage on social media over public conduct. For anybody who doesn't know Hindi, those are basically patriotic slogans. So similar to British people saying God save the king, or America singing the national anthem or something. They're being nationalist and patriotic in another country that they're not from, right? In Paris. Shot in the crowded Montmartre area of the French capital, the viral video shows one man putting his arm around a mime person using silent physical storytelling through body movements and facial expressions and shouting slogans while others join in. The performer appears visibly uncomfortable, probably because he doesn't know Hindi, and is seen gesturing for them to stop, but his pleas fall on deaf ears, and the Indians continue their chants. Not sure why they're doing it, though. The episode has kindled a debate around civic sense, public behavior abroad, and whether such displays of nationalism are appropriate in public spaces. They aren't. As an anti-nationalist myself, no displays of nationalism should be allowed in public. But anyways, the video shows a man taking a photo with the mime performer and start chanting loudly. The performer gestures to him to be quiet, but the man keeps chanting with full energy, even as others in the group join in chanting the slogan. The man is also heard shouting slogans hailing Maharashtra Deputy CM Eknath Shinde, leading many to speculate that he must be a supporter from Shinde's home turf of Thane. India's tourist stupidity in Paris. They also harassed a street performer who was peacefully performing his art. The artist stopped them from shouting slogans and from making reels with him, all without any respect for his space. Shameful, posted writer Suraj Kumar Baud on Twitter. Sounds like somebody also from India. Disgusting. These fellows should be deported and banned for life from entering the country, an online user said. Just normal social media vitriol, right? We must go to the extremes of the result of this. Another online user mentioned that the group ignored the performer's signals, saying bro was exactly doing the opposite of what the street performer was saying. But and I guess that caused drama for India. But of course, I talked about this a little bit over in the beginning of the show, or in the pre-show, which was that there are a lot of famously British tourists are like this for me. They start screaming nationalistic, patriotic songs in public, And it's like, dude, go home. You're not in your country. No one cares about your queen or your king or his children. No one cares about your royal family. Go away.
Right?
And sadly, that's the case here, right? The people in Paris do not care about your Indian region that you're from. And it means nothing to them. Please shut up.
I got a good one here.
Okay, I'm ready for it when you're ready to share it.
I got a limerick. In the city that was once called Bombay, where the appropriate greeting is namaste, to say anything else is an insult itself. Release the Epstein files today. I had to put that out there because it's been for a month. Exactly 1 month. They were released. A court deadline, and oh boy, where are they? What happened?
Yep, 100%.
Invading Greenland. We're invading Greenland, Iceland, and Norway now. All right. Woohoo. Okay, so yeah.
Let's roll our segue wheel for your story.
What happened?
And we've got
nobody's talking about
a metaphor or simile.
If you try to cut out even on liberal sites, you try to talk about distraction. I was like, this shit. You've been distracting us with this gaslight shit forever because you're outraged. Yeah, he's doing it to cover for the fact that he's going to prison. All right, let's talk about a train wreck. The first little one. WRAL.com has the story. I need the glasses for this because I got big print. What to know about the train crash in Spain? High-speed train in southern Spain derailed Sunday, at least 39, injuring more than 150. Spanish authorities left the Iberian Peninsula. We're staying right there. The high-speed train in southern Spain derailed Sunday. Let's do that again. Rescue efforts were still ongoing Monday, and officials said the death toll is likely to rise. The accident was the deadliest in Spain since 2013. It killed 80 people after a commuter train hurled off the rails as it came around a bend. Maybe they're going a little too fast. I would just go ahead and throw that out there. Why a high-speed train leaves the tracks is beyond me. How is it even designed to ever leave the tracks? I would say it would be just
taking a turn really fast.
What the hell? The derailment occurred at 7:45 p.m. on Sunday when the tail end of a train carrying 289 passengers on a route to Malaga to the capital Madrid went off the rails. It slammed an oncoming train traveling from Madrid to Huelva, another southern city, according to the operator Adif. The head of the second train took the brunt of the impact. Oh, great. The one that wouldn't even jump the tracks. The Transport Minister Oscar Puente said the collision knocked its first two carriages off the tracks and then plummeted down a 4-meter slope. The collision took place near Ademuz, a town in the province of Cordoba, about 370 kilometers south of Madrid. On Monday morning, Andalusia Regional President Juan Manuel Moreno said the authorities were searching the area for an accident and possible bodies. The impact was so incredibly violent that we have found bodies hundreds of meters away. So it's gruesome, it's terrible. There's not a whole lot of update as far as the accident. People declaring 3 days of national is not a whole lot of help. Spain has spent decades investing heavily in high-speed trains. It currently has the largest rail network in Europe for trains traveling over fast and is safe, apparently, because here we go. With more than 3,100 miles of track, according to the European Union. The network is popular, competitively priced, and safe mode of transport. Let's not say safe right now, okay? Sunday's accident was the first with deaths on Spain's high-speed rail network since it opened in 1992. So it's their first accident, and they're going to just have to reset that counter to 0. Days without a deadly crash, back to 0 for the Spanish high-speed rail network, which had a safety record until it didn't. So that's your one story.
That tends to what happened, isn't it? You know,
had a safety record until it.
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah.
And I guess they're still investigating what went wrong, because it didn't sound like they know what, like, how they crashed, what happened in the crash, but why the crash happened. It doesn't sound like they're divulging that information. What were the events that caused this crash? Yeah.
It's not easy.
It shouldn't happen.
Right. It just happened. Yeah.
And it can be something as simple as like the track switcher didn't switch in time, and there's just not enough time to stop a train or the other train from colliding, and it's like, well,
it's way too fast fucked. Is what I'm saying.
My metaphor is this train journey became a tragic ballet in which a train faltered and slipped off the rails. And the fragile beauty of life turned into shattered dreams in the weight of its silent collision with fate. Isn't that just poetry?
Oh, you're mixing the metaphor. Oh, you're mixing the metaphors, are you?
I'm just writing poems, right? I'm laughing because I'm embarrassed, but it's a very heart-shattering poem right there about train wrecks.
Careful about that poetry, man. It's dangerous. Yep. People start to think. Yeah. Anyway, that's my only story. I'll do the other two later. So.
Okay, let's roll the next segue then. Right. For my only story in this section, Djokovic at the Australian Open. Got some sports news for those sports lovers. This is a hypothetical. You got it? Hypothetical?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. This is by John Pye, P-Y-E, on AP News, coming out of Melbourne. Novak Djokovic had the big stage and a list of milestones that he needed to celebrate with his 100th win at the Australian Open. He delivered the kind of performance that showed his rivals and his fans he's here with a single objective, a 25th Grand Slam title. The 38-year-old Djokovic equaled 2 all-time tennis records by starting his 21st Australian Open and his 81st Grand Slam event, and he added another milestone Monday night. Wait, I guess he just added it then, because it's already been Monday night. Today, on the 19th of January, with his 100th win at the Melbourne Park. Because Australia is, I believe, 7 hours ahead of me, so it's already tomorrow there. He already owns so many tennis records, but he really liked the sound of this one. I mean, what can I say? Centurion is pretty nice, Djokovic said after his 6-3, 6-2, and 6-2 first round win over Pedro Martinez of Spain. Nice feeling. His record now stands at 100-10 at the Australian Open, so he's only lost 10 times, where he's won 10... Oh, sorry. What do you mean he's only won 10 titles? So he's gone 100 times? No, it said it was his 100th win. Okay. Well, he's won 10 titles at the Australian Open, and that makes him the first man to win 100 or more matches. So he's won 100 matches, but only 10 titles on 3 surfaces at the Grand Slams.
Only? I like this. Only 10 titles.
Just how they wrote the sentence confused me. So he's won 100 matches at the Australian Open and 10 titles there as well. And he's the first man to win 100 or more matches on 3 surfaces at the Grand Slams, with his 102 on grass at Wimbledon, 101 on clay at Roland Garros. What the winner of the 24 major championships really wants more than anything is to win 6 more matches across the next 2 weeks, enough to become the most decorated tennis player of all time. He's already owns the records for most men's Grand Slam single titles and most in the Open era. Today, on the 19th of January, he equaled Federer's 21 Australia Open appearances and the overall Grand Slam record that Federer shared with Feliciano Lopez. History making is a great motivation, he said. Djokovic showed signs of vintage form with a running cross-court forehand winner near the end of his first set that he saluted with ripping the cord celebration. In the third set, he said he was channeling Gael Monfils when he leaped into another forehand and smacked a winner cross-court. Forehand cross-court. So that means the person defending had to run across the court to defend, and he couldn't make it in time. His service stats laid down a solid marker. 77% first serves in 97% first serve points won Which, wow, that's crazy. So his first serve, he basically wins points 93% of the time. 85% second serve points won, and 14 aces. He didn't face a break point. Performance-wise, the feeling on the court was great. I couldn't ask for more. Obviously a great serving performance, he said, adding that the commanding victory was sending the right signal, not just to yourself, but to all your opponents. Speaking of opponents, he has noticed that the reworked Carlos Alcaraz service motion looks remarkably like his own. He joked that he'd been in touch with the 22-year-old Spaniard who is trying to complete a career Grand Slam by winning the Australian title. As soon as I saw it, I sent him a message and I said, "You know, we have to speak about the copyrights." He joked in a post-match news conference. "Hey, you can't be using my reworked service motion. That's mine." Then when I saw him here, I told him we have to talk about percentage of his winnings. He added, smiling, "Every ace I expect a tribute to me." Djokovic didn't play any warm-up tournaments, saving himself for the big occasion in a bid to win a major title that has eluded him since 2023. "I'm using every hour that I can to get my body recovered in shape for the next challenge," he said. He reached the semifinals at all 4 majors in 25, but he couldn't break the stranglehold that Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, the rivalry known as the Sincaras, have had on the biggest trophies in the sport for the last 2 years. They're just winning everything out here. Djokovic acknowledged ahead of the tournament that Alcaraz and 2-time defending Australian Open champion Sinner are playing on a different level right now, but he said that if he can put everything together at the right time, he's still capable of beating anyone. So there's your, I wouldn't say underdog story, because it's definitely a overdog story of trying to get this Australia Open Grand Slam win. And what did he say? He wants to get to 6 more matches across the next 2 weeks.
Be nice.
So we can win 6 more major championships for 30, I guess, 30 major championship wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly guessing what all of this stuff means because I don't really follow tennis or so.
Right. His main competition retired is what you got to know about that. That's why he keeps winning, because hypothetically, it'd be nice if he had any competition, but they retired. Roger Federer.
Which he does. I mean, it somes like here, Sinner and Alcaraz have been blocking the way for him for 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. Again, all them titles got a lot easier when those guys hung it up. Anyway, you said he advanced by beating Pedro Martinez. You know, Pedro Martinez is a Hall of Fame level baseball player, right? So no wonder he won. He was playing a 60-year-old baseball player. Anyway, it'd be fun. I would be fun to hypothetically watch that. It's like when what was it? Michael Jordan went to go play golf or whatever, something like that. No, he went to go play baseball too. Wasn't it?
Yeah, Michael Jordan was a terrible baseball player.
It's like, I'm a baseball player. I'm gonna go play some tennis for a while.
Michael Jordan couldn't hit his weight in baseball, but Pedro Martinez was interesting because he was really small guy, but he threw inside all the time. And he would challenge people. Mm-hmm. So that would have been an interesting tennis match. Of course, he's old. He
won his rounds against Martinez with 6 each time, right? 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. So it wasn't really a match.
That's a tangent, a wild tangent. Sorry. Is it time?
All right, then let's go to your stories and roll our segue wheel.
I went hunting wild tangents one time. They're not easy to.
You know, it's nice to talk about some stuff.
Yep.
Now I'm going to write some limericks for you.
Limericks. Thank you for writing, because I got 2 stories and they're related. They're related stories, and like I said, we had the literal train wreck story. Now we're going to talk about the one that we're all living through in this part of the world. The protectionist trade policies of the United States allow China to swoop in. This is AP News. Paul Weissman, America's top trading partners are responding to Stinky DeClown's belligerent and unpredictable trade policies by trying to take their business elsewhere. Canada broke the United States Friday, slashing its 100% import tax on Chinese electric vehicles for lower tariffs and Canadian farm products, particularly the overseas. Oh, get oil in the United States. Now they're going to sell it to Canada. Get busy controlling American government checks you got, or you're expecting is, socialists. Socialism for me, not for the government. A huge declaration of realignment in Canada's economic relations, said Edward Alden, who studies trade issues as a senior fellow of the Council on Foreign Relations. The economic threat for the United States is now perceived by Canadians as far than the economic threat from China, so this is a big deal. Canada has repeatedly been the target of Trump's impulsive wrath. And what did Canada ever do to him? I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. What's his problem?
Equal.
Other than destroying our economy.
As far as I'm concerned, the problem he has with all other places is that they act like they're equal to America. He's like, no, America's the best, and no one's equal with us. How dare you say we're equal? And I don't know.
Yeah, I realize that. But again, here's the thing. I forgot to run through the filter of Trump for Russia. So, of course, he's trying to... Canada has repeatedly been a target of Trump's impulsive wrath. In October, for instance, he said he was imposing a 10% tariff on the Canadian imports for as reprisal for Ontario's provincial government airing an advertisement that criticized the president's go-to diplomatic tariff tool. Like, what the hell is that even? That's not even policy. That's just... He doesn't care what he does to fuck up this country.
Yeah, it's just pettiness.
He never did care at all, ever. This dude didn't even think he was get elected. He was planning on losing. And a bunch of you morons voted for him.
And then taking over anyways,
right?
He was going to start his...
Not our fine audience, though.
Yeah, of course.
Not our fine audience. Our fine audience is highly educated and very perceptive. He didn't follow through on the increase, but tariffs on some key Canadian sectors like steel and aluminum remain. But Friday's deal with China is potentially a perilous one for Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, who risks retribution. Ugh. Stop it. Canada's not alone in looking for alternatives to America's massive market as stinky/massive terrorists, like a impulsive teenager who got rejected because he has a big nose or whatever. Oh my God, nobody's ever gonna like me. I gotta be mean to them all. We gotta pay for this bitchy little teenager every day of our lives here. The European Union formally signed a trade pact Saturday with the South American alliance known as Mercosur, which includes the region's two biggest economies, Brazil and Argentina. The EU is also pursuing a trade deal with India. India, again, one of them growing populations. And they do have a lot of talented people they'd like to export. China probably should be on board with a lot of that. Maybe they are. China, pounded by U.S. tariffs since Trump's first term, has diversified its exports away the world's biggest economy to markets such as Europe and Southeast Asia. It seems to be working. China's trade surplus with the rest of the world surged to a record $1.2 trillion in 2025. The Chinese government reported Wednesday, despite tumbling exports to the U.S. They're doing just fine, thank you. Again, we're punishing ourselves by electing Trump. Since returning to the White House in January, Stinky has overturned 7 decades of U.S. policy in favor of ever-free trade. Let's not forget that is the official policy of the Republican Party up until Stinky got in charge, and all of a sudden, free trade? Huh? What? We never believed in that. Free trade? That's a liberal policy. How has that ever been a liberal policy? It's protectionist. The unions might have liked it, right? They love tariffs. But the unions are not conservatives. They're not. Trump said tariffs will raise money for the U.S. Treasury, protect American industries, bring investment into the United States. On Thursday, in fact, Taiwan agreed to invest $250 billion in the United States in return. Again, Taiwan was doing that anyway. So Friday's deal in Beijing marks a turnaround in Canadian policy. In 2024, Canada followed the U.S. by imposing 100% tariffs on EVs from China, reflecting fears that inexpensive Chinese cars would overwhelm domestic North American automakers. Again, our automakers are under the impression that people want to go out and spend $50,000 on a new car. That's what a new car costs, $50,000. A new car.
Yeah.
Right? Friggin' the house costs $50,000, folks. I mean, you can live. I mean, you better live in that. You better live in that car. They just price things out of everybody's reach, expect you to finance it, and you can't get good rates. So then there's that problem. So China's strength in electric vehicles, the sector are undeniable, says Carney. China produces some of the world's most affordable, energy efficient vehicles in the world. In order for Canada to build our own competitive EV sector, we need to learn from innovative partners, access their supply chains, and increase local demand. That's right. We imported Japanese cars all through the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s in the United States. Once some trade barriers came down, we wanted Japan to succeed, right? We didn't want them to devolve back into totalitarianism. So we encouraged the same with South Korea, right? And then their car market took off. China's car market is going to take off in Canada, and there's American foothold ever because of this. So congratulations, Trump. Let's have a limerick.
Okay, my limerick is: in Canada's land so wide, they lowered tariffs with pride from 100 to 6 for those EV tricks, bringing green dreams to the ride.
Oh, green dreams. Green dreams, man.
Green dreams are made of these.
That sounds like the dreams you get after you smoke something.
I was reading. I probably can't find it now if I were to look it up, but I was reading a post about this on my threads. It said something along the lines of, while they're, basically embargoing Canada and not selling any EVs or anything to them or whatever, and China's going to sell out to Canada, which means they're going to create factories, right, in Canada to build more Chinese EVs or whatever. Meanwhile, all convicted felon Trump has done is decrease any of the green manufacturing that everyone else is doing, right? He's like, yeah, just make dirty cars again. And then sell them to who? Other Americans, I guess. Because nobody else is going to be buying them. The rest of the world wants green energy, green cars. They're cheaper to run, first of all. They don't need as much oil and stuff. Like a combustion engine needs so much maintenance compared to an EV, which is just a battery, right? You can charge it at your house. Okay. You don't have to go to a gas station to refuel, The EVs are just more convenient for everybody.
This is more about lowering tariffs than it is anything for the United States. I don't think.
I'm just saying this is what somebody I saw somebody say, right? Somebody's opinion, one person on the internet's opinion.
I don't think there's currently any kind of tariff or any kind of big thing on American cars. But the thing with the tariffs on Chinese cars, that even with, I might have mentioned this earlier, even with 100% tariff, they're still cheaper than American cars, electric cars. Even with 100% tariff. So making them even cheaper in Canada.
Trashed. Yeah.
Oh, because of American cars. America want a bunch extra that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. Anyway, next
about the train wreck the economy is
hiring to end the weakest year of job growth since the pandemic. Yeah. The pandemic year, I don't know if it had really weak job growth overall. But the reason is just there was any job growth that year is because people all stayed home for a while and then went back to work. So any job growth that spiked after that was going to be massive.
It was just the going back to normal spike
overall.
Yeah.
Apparently 2020 didn't add any net jobs. So because of that volatility, but there's absolutely no pandemic this year. It is just bad governance. NPR.org, hiring slows in December with Scott Horsley. Hiring slows in December, and the weakest job growth since a pandemic. That's the sub-headline. Hiring remains anemic in December, closing out the weakest year of job growth. U.S. employees added just $50,000 in December, according to a report from the Labor Department. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate dipped to 4.4. Again, the unemployment rate only samples the people who are actively filing for unemployment, who are looking for work. People like me who just don't want to contribute to this economy are not looking for work. So I'm not counted in that unemployment rate. And people that are self-employed are never counted in the unemployment rate because they can't collect unemployment. Anyway, meanwhile, the unemployment rate to 4.4 to 4.5 in November. So it went down, while job gains, which typically happens in December, by the way, because of seasonal hiring, very, very common in December. While job gains for October and November were also revised down by a total of 76,000 jobs. We're not getting this stuff on time because Trump's suppressing the information, by the way. He wants to leak it out slowly. For all of 2025, employers added 584,000 jobs compared to 2 million jobs in 2024, the last year of the Biden administration. That meant that last year was the worst for employment growth since 2020. That is roughly 1/4 of the job growth of the year before. Healthcare and hospitality were among the few industries adding jobs in December. Healthcare employment is generally immune from ups and downs of the business cycle because people get sick. Manufacturing continues to lose work and jobs in December. Factories have been in a slump for the last 10 months. No coincidence. Compiled according to the index of manufacturing activity compiled by the Institute of Supply Management, the ISM. The sector has been hit hard by President Trump's tariffs, as have many domestic manufacturers rely on foreign components. There we go, more tariffs, driving up prices, slowing down factory production because we can't sell anything because we've had to overprice it, so we had to lay people off. Oh, by the way, if you're in a food production, factories are closing down because the workforce is being deported. Morale across the manual, said an unnamed factory manager quoted in this week's ISM report. Folks citing tariffs and other price increases. The federal government has added 2,000 jobs in December, but still down 2,000 a year. The government recorded big losses early in the fall when workers who accepted buyouts officially dropped off the government payroll. Well, workers are increasingly nervous about job security. Slightly more worried about losing their jobs in the coming year. Make people who already have jobs reluctant them up, so you keep your shit job. I don't want to be out in the street.
Yep.
The resulting lack of turnover means fewer job openings for young people and others trying to. There's your story. Don't forget, if we're not adding something like, I think it's 750,000 jobs per month were actually losing jobs because the people are added, of course, as they graduate high school and college. They're not figured on statistics at all. They have to get those new jobs. Somebody has to take those new jobs. And if we have eliminated a lot of jobs that were being filled by immigrants, does not give me a sense of, because a lot of those jobs that got eliminated, companies had to go under too. And that's what happens with those factories that was in the Midwest, in Nebraska, the Tyson factory. Work there. You just can't. They're not going to do that. They'll do that all for a month and quit. You bring workers from another country, they'll do it until they retire. Anyway, let's have a limerick.
Okay, my limerick is: in a town where the jobs used to thrive, now layoffs make many contrive. Pandemic's cruel hand left workers unplanned as hope for job growth takes a nose dive. I know a lot of people. I know I don't know a lot of people, but too many people have been laid off last year. Too many people. In jobs that they've had for 10 years, right? Jobs they've had for 15 years. And they've just been kicked to the side, the curb. So, that's a great example of zero job growth.
There's a point in your career where you will make too much money, and they will look at their bottom line and go, that guy's been with the company 20 years. let's get him a buyout of his pension. That was used to be
Yeah.
when he used to have a pension.
So we can
He
just
buy you up.
suffer.
They did that to me. After 25 years with the company, I probably put into. They quit having their pension after about 10 years.
Yeah.
And they put us in all of 401k, which is a little
Which is a huge
scam
scam.
to make Wall Street rich.
Yep.
Yeah, that's to make Wall Street rich, and the 401ks get wiped out just when Wall Street gets wiped out too. But pensions don't. Pensions, unless there's crooks stealing it, pensions are good. So after 25 years of the company and they fired me, a year after that, I knew this was going to happen. They offered me a buyout from my pension. And I said, gimme, because my pension was only $200 a month, turned 65. And I'm like, gimme now. And so I got a big buyout all at once. So it was pretty cool. Helped pay the bills. Anyway, that's my stupid story. Next
tangent.
Next spin.
Let's roll our segue wheel. I have nothing to say about pensions. I'm not going to have one, so...
Yeah, they dried up a long time
Being
ago.
a freelancer is really great because you're your own boss and you can decide how you spend your time and what you invest in for your own career. But sadly, that means you don't get a pension. I think I don't even if I become a citizen of the Netherlands, I don't know if I have rights to a pension. Being a freelance worker from the state.
Union pensions are pretty good.
And here in the Netherlands, as a citizen, have rights to a pension from the state for providing to the economy some sort of economic service, right? That's what the idea is, right? You did, you worked, you did a job.
Though, are
yeah.
Even though that was the organized crime swindled the union pensions, they still pretty good. I know a couple people on union pensions they're retired. They're not going to work anymore. Union pensions there, okay? Along with Social Security. I don't know. Social Security probably come up with a way to steal their money back. Government will say, you can't have that money anymore. But, until that day happens.
Well, I mean...
I'll go back to work digging ditches.
Sadly, as a millennial, right, they've been saying since 2001 or something, millennials will not have Social Security in the future if this keeps happening. And they've been saying that for 20, 30 years now, right? Oh, it's all over for the millennials.
I remember back in the 90s, I'd have internet arguments. And this is how long the internet's been around. Internet arguments back in the late 90s with people that said Social Security ain't going to be around in 2020. And I'm like, they're wrong. They've never come around to admit they're wrong. It's 5 years later. 6 years later. It's still there. So the demise.
I'm not planning my life around it, That's all I'm saying.
No, don't plan your life around it. I'm saying is all they got to do to make Social Security solvent is raise the ceiling. Because I don't know if you know this, after your first $159,000, after that you don't pay any Social Security tax. It's completely gone. So people that make that kind of money, like,
are not paying into the system.
5 minutes into this year, Jeff Bezos stopped paying Social Security tax.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes, maybe 5 seconds, right? So can't we just take some of that fucking money that these guys get laid around the couches and just, take care of these people that, work their damn whole entire lives and just want to go, I'd like to go fishing once before I die. But
I can't afford a new fishing pole.
I worked for you for 30 years, took no vacations, you paid me for shit, and then the old man died when I retired, and the kid flayed me off because I was old and making too much money. And then he still, I was, working there. So, I'm screwed. That kind of shit. It happens all the time. Anyway.
Well, our next segue is going to be mixed metaphor. And this is my culture news. I said I was going to talk about this on, I think probably Wednesday or Thursday I talked about this, but it was the European Film Awards, which are, I guess, being called the European Oscars. They can just be called the European Film Awards without comparing them to something else. And Sentimental Value has swept the entire board. This is from David Marquand on Euronews Culture. Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value has pulled off a clean sweep, winning a total of 6 awards, including Best Film, Best Director, both acting awards. Elsewhere, Oliver Lax's Sirat picked up 5 awards during a politically charged evening in Berlin. This year's European Film Awards, the European counterpart to the Oscars, which honors the greatest achievements in European cinema, have spoken. And it was a night of triumph for Norwegian director Joachim Trier's moving and layered family drama, Sentimental Value. The film did something of a clean sweep, winning 6 awards, including the coveted Best European Film. It beat 14 other films, including Jafar Panahi's engrossing Palme d'Or winner, It Was Just an Accident, Oliver Laux' bone-shaking post-apocalyptic odyssey, Sirat, and Masha Shelinsky's breakthrough film, Sound of Falling. Trier won Best Director for his exploration of dysfunctional family dynamics, as well as Best Screenplay alongside his longtime writing partner, Eskil Vogt. In an interview of Sentimental Value, Euronews Culture wrote, "Despite a predictable denouement you will have guessed by the end of the first act, Sentimental Value does come together as a mature ode to trying one's best and how, in some cases, life and art can convert to create something bigger." And then there's Stellan Skarsgård and Renat Renvis in Sentimental Value, which, of course, Skarsgård is just a great actor. So, Renit Rensve, which I don't know her and what she's been in, won Best European Actress for Sentimental Value, cementing once more how her pairing with Trier's yields glory, following The Worst Person in the World, and how the actress is one of the most magnetic screen presences in cinema worldwide. I guess I'll have to watch more of her films, because I feel like I've seen her somewhere, but I can't tell you where I've seen her. Right. Her win followed Stellan Skarsgård, which I think everyone should know by this point, picking up Best European Actor for his role as the absentee father in Trier's film. His speech was brief and to the point. "It feels like coming home. Thank you with all my heart." Short, sweet, and possibly a bit too short-lived, still a merited award for Skarsgård, who recently took home a Golden Globe and cements his position as a frontrunner for the Oscars in March. Sentimental Value also won Best Score, Hania Rani. The sweep was somewhat unsurprising, since the EFAs have a recurring habit of awarding several awards to the same film, often to the detriment of some variety, it has to be said. This was the case last year with Emilia Perez, and also 2 years ago for Anatomy of a Fall. It's hard to be too grumpy about this when the winning film is one of the favorites of Euronews Culture this year. However, they reiterate that their call from previous years that maybe some rules and parameters should be changed so that the wider variety of films are celebrated at the end of the day. Elsewhere, the other big winner of the evening was Oliver Laux' Sirat, another one of the favorite films of 2025 for Euronews Culture. It bagged 5 awards: Best Production Design, Leila Atika, Best Sound Designer, Laia Casanovas, Best Editing, Cristobal Fernandez, Best Cinematography, Mara Hers, and Best Casting Direction, Nadia Assimi, Louis Bertola, and Maria Rodio. For their review of Sirat, Euronews wrote, "Whether you're completely on board with the trip to oblivion or on the ambitious swings Sirat takes, Laux conjures such a dizzying and invigorating trance that you're sure to take this film home with you. Its impacts will reverberate in your mind and bones." Sound of Falling only won Best Costume, Sabrina Kramer, while Yorgos Lanthimos' Bugonia bafflingly went home with only Best Makeup and Hair, Torsten Witte. The biggest surprise of the evening came in the shape of a huge snub. Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident went home empty-handed. While the ceremony went smoothly and was punctuated by cutaways celebrating cinemas hosted by Mark Cousins. So Mark Cousins was the host. I was like, they said Mark Cousins drew up the ceremony, but they didn't say he was hosting it. I don't know why they didn't just say he's hosting the ceremony. Who's a Northern Irish director and writer. For his prolific documentarian, among his best-known works is 15-hour 2001 documentary The Story of Film and Odyssey, and other documentaries like that. His passion and enthusiasm was infectious as always, and the event was politically charged from the get-go. Dissident Iranian director Jafar Panahi was welcomed onto the stage early on in the ceremony, introduced by Cousins as one of the greatest filmmakers. Panahi opened the 38th EFAs by making a statement about Iran and the recent atrocities committed by the repressive Tehran government. "If the world does not respond to this blatant violence today, not only Iran but the entire world is at risk," said Panahi. "Violence, when left unanswered, becomes normalized. It spreads, it becomes contagious. When the truth is crushed in one place, freedom suffers everywhere. Then no one is safe anywhere in the world. Not in Iran, not in Europe, not in America. He concluded, our tasks as filmmakers and artists is harder than ever. If we are disappointed with politicians, we must at least refuse to remain silent. Because silence in a time of darkness is not neutrality. Silence is a participation in the darkness. Sadly, Panahi cancelled his press duties earlier in the day. Euronews Culture were supposed to have a one-on-one with the director, but the EFA is giving the director a platform to comment on the structures of censorship. Now the horrors of cyclical violence continue to oppress the Iranian people was a particularly shrewd touch. Many award recipients also expressed their solidarity with the people of Iran, as well as mentioning some of the other anxieties decrying from a barrage of recent troubling headlines. Convicted clown, Donald Trump stealing a award he doesn't deserve, filmmakers being different from politicians because they work together, unlike politicians who make war, the eyes of children being sacred, especially in conflict, and European values that are under attack. Not that there wasn't some escapism. One of the most memorable parts of the evening was European Film Academy President Juliette Binoche representing this year's Lifetime Achievement Award to Norwegian screen legend Liv Ullmann from Persona, Scenes from a Marriage. A visibly moved Ullmann took the stage to accept the award. I'm very grateful, she said, to a standing ovation, but even then, the mood shifted back to current events. The world is strange, scary, and difficult to solve, but movies can tell people why we are specifically scared now, said Ullmann, who also mentioned how strange it was that the Nobel Prize was suddenly going to someone else, referring to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, recently presenting the Nobel Peace Prize to clown Trump, a move which prompted much incredulity in Norway. But, a little side tangent, has happened before. I think a Nobel Peace Literature Prize winner, I think from Norway, or was it Sweden, gave his prize to Goebbels, a famous Nazi. The PR master behind the Nazi regime got that Nobel Peace Prize. It was given in support of the Nazi regime, so it hasn't been the first time a fascist has gotten one secondhand. We have laws in Norway. If you misuse a Nobel Prize, we take it away from you. So someone in the United States will soon be disappointed. This year's ceremony took place in Berlin at the city's House of World Cultures, and later than usual. The EFAs typically take place at the end of the year at 2026's awards, at the right bang in the middle of the international award season, to better cement the EFAs in Europe's rightful counterpart to the glitzy stateside show. Hollywood is taking notice. There has been an uptick in non-English language films in the running for major categories aside from Best International Feature, showing that major US award shows are finally opening themselves up to the rest of world cinema. Wow, the bar's low. Let's hope that the upcoming Oscar nominations, announced Thursday the 22nd of January, will continue to reflect quite how much European cinema has nothing to envy Hollywood when it comes to producing some of the best films out there. You can bet that Sentimental Value will be heading to the Oscars with a renewed sense of confidence. Then there's a list of all the winners and nominations, which you can go find yourself, because I'm not reading that for 10 minutes. And I guess go check out Sarat. It Was an Accident, Sentimental Value, who won a lot of these awards. And honestly, all the nominations. Just go watch all of them. There's subtitles. Learn how to read. It won't kill you. And that's my culture segment.
I was about to share a video with you, so I'll just do that now.
Okay.
And it's the list of winners, because you weren't... Whatever you didn't cover, at least they did that for you. So the metaphor, mixed metaphor, again, the same as I got for all award shows, is, patting yourself on the back. Hey, everybody! Let's all pat ourselves on the back. We're special.
We made art and people liked it. Yay!
Yeah. And don't forget, everybody's a winner, even if you were nominated, except that the people
Yeah,
who
that's
win feel
true.
a hell of a lot better.
The people have heard the name of your film now, or your name.
Yeah, if I won an award, I think I'd just go, thanks for the award, and just leave. Like, People feel bad enough. They don't want to see me talk. Yeah.
That's kind of what Skarsgård did. He was just like, wow, this is an honor. Thanks, guys. And then he left. He was like, thanks.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to add.
Now one of you guys.
Everyone knows how good I
I
am.
can disappear for. Now I've got an award. I'll never get one again. You guys have got a chance now because they'll never give me one because that's how this works. They'll even nominate people a bunch of times. Just say they nominated them, right?
Yeah, and that's the saddest part, right? Being nominated 20 times and never winning.
I think Meryl Streep's won like a bunch of Academy Awards, but she still gets nominated every year just because. Like, she was in a ShopRite commercial. Let's nominate her. Okay. Anyway, let's do the anyway. Put that on your bingo card too. This day in history. What happened?
Let's roll the segue.
Whatever.
Roll the wheel.
I'm gonna train into the station. Another bad train metaphor. On a bad day to talk about trains. 1807. Did you get it? A wheel spin?
It is alliteration headline.
Okay, we'll just write that down. They knock shit over. Okay. Shorthand. 1807 is the birthday of Robert E. Lee. Yeah, he was born Confederate trader, college president, who was been a contested figure since the end of American Civil War. He probably should have gone to prison, but he didn't. He was let go to lead a quiet life. Although his former home is now Arlington National Cemetery. So Robert Lee, fuck you. He's born in 1807. 1809, 2 years later, Edgar Allan Poe was born. Short story writer, poet, critic, and editor, famous for his cultivation of mystery and the macabre, was born. Quoth the Raven nevermore. He wrote that. He also wrote The Telltale Heart, some really good, creepy stuff. Don't murder somebody and bury them under your floor, because it'll get to you. 1825, Ezra Daggett and Thomas Kensett obtained a patent for a preservation process. There's some peas popping. Used to store food in tin cans. Tin can was invented. Tin can preservation. Yes, they had to suck all the air out of it. Otherwise, bacteria was going to grow. 1853, Giuseppe Verdi's opera Il Trovatore premiered in Rome. It's Italian for something. 1883, in the North Sea, the German steamer Cimbria collided with the British Sultan and sank, killing 340. That's so anniversary of a big old, I guess a steamer. These are steamers, they're passenger ships. That was a lot of people. It had to be a passenger ship, right? There was no wars going on in 1883. 1943, singer Janis Joplin was born in Port Arthur, Texas. There's another birthday for today. You know Janis, go listen to some of her music. 1946, country music singer Dolly Parton. Happy birthday, Dolly Parton, born this day, 1946. Happy birthday, Dolly. 1953, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower held the first ever televised presidential press conference. That's kind of cool. So that happened 81 years ago or something. 71 years ago. Sorry for that. 71 years ago. 1966, following the sudden death of Indian Premier La Budhar Shashti 8 days earlier, Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India, assuming the office first held by her father, Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1977, U.S. President Gerald Ford pardoned Eva Toguri-Diakino, who is also known as Tokyo Rose, a Japanese-American broadcaster from Japan, who broadcast to U.S. troops telling them to surrender in English, saying, "You American imperialist dogs." Anyway, she served 6 years in prison. Mitigating information later raised questions about her guilt. I believe she was being tortured, so she was pardoned. 2000, Austrian-born actress Hedy Lamarr died in Florida. Hedy Lamarr was often typecast as a provocative female fatale, and later achieved recognition as a noted inventor of radio communications. Frequency hopping is what she invented. when you were getting your frequency jammed by the opponent, that one of the first things that happened with radios, people discovered that you could jam somebody's frequency if you just broadcast on that frequency with a whole lot of noise. They came up with frequency hopping, and the Navy tried to steal it from her, but she did eventually get the patent later. I think after she died, didn't do her a lot of good. But anyway, her and her partner came up with frequency hopping, so you didn't stay the same frequency all the time. 2012, the popular file sharing computer service Megaupload, I guess that's a thing, shut down by the U.S. government after several people associated with this site, including founder Kim.com or Kim Schmitz, were charged with violating anti-piracy laws. Yeah, Megaupload's hackers, man. 2013, American baseball player Stan Musial died at the age of 92. Played for the St. Louis Cardinals his little career. Stan the Man. Our featured event is 1953, Lucille Ball's Baby is Born on television. Yes, they had a live birth on television. This day in 1953, American actress Lucille Ball welcomed a baby boy, both in and off screen. She had planned a C-section delivery in real life, but her character on the hit sitcom I Love Lucy gave birth as well, breaking some of the stigma surrounding pregnancy and childbirth on television. About 44 million people watched the episode titled Lucy Goes to the Hospital. Just in case you thought it came from a stork. Oh, where's the stork? Paul Cézanne, French artist, birthday. He was born January 19th, 1839 in Provence, France. Died in that same place, October 22nd, at the age of 67 in 1906. Birthdays besides Robert E. Lee, Edgar Allan Poe, Sophie Tauber-Arp, French Swiss artist, Janis Joplin, Dolly Parton. All them people sharing a birthday today. National Day today is National. We'll get around to it. Maybe get around to it. National Imagination Day. It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s day observed. His birthday today. So a lot of people calling in. Don't have to go to work today. A lot of people taking a 4-dayer. Especially if it snowed where you are. National Popcorn Day. So stay home, eat some popcorn, and use your imagination. That's everything. Our limericks, our alliterations, our technical glitches, our horrible updates of Wednesday's awful news. Today, January 19th, 2026, on Before Popcorn. Gotta have some popcorn.
Get some popcorn kernels stuck in your teeth just to make the day worse, huh?
Yeah, or even some lower ranking popcorn if you don't want to eat a kernel. Eat a private, or perhaps a sergeant. That's a terrible pun. Sorry about that. We got to do your alliteration headline.
All right, my first alliteration headline is Lucille's lovable little land's lively life on the luminous. I don't know. I couldn't think of a word for a screen with an L. The TV screen, the luminous lit something.
The lit. LL.
My next one is Dolly's dazzling dulcet dreams dazzle diverse devotees daily. Devotees of Dolly. Now that's my religion.
All right.
And finally, popping perfectly playful popcorn pirouettes. Because when it pops, it spins around. It does some pirouettes in there. Having some fun.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it does. It pirouettes. All right. Yeah, man.
And yet again, there are no international days because we don't have one till the 24th. So keep looking after yourself and take care of your own mental health. So I think that's what we should do this period, even with all the shit that's going on in the world, January's always get the bad side, right? It's not Christmas, there's nothing happening. So people are always like, oh, it's January. This month sucks. So celebrate yourself. And this has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US, as we start another week, our third week of January, as we will be back tomorrow for Good News Day.
Second month of Epstein file.
Yep. And we'll be here from some Good News Day to share some good news that's been happening, to give some hope in humanity again. So please subscribe on the podcast, the Before Coffee podcast channel, so you can let YouTube know that people appreciate watching this father and daughter news show. And of course, you can support us on Patreon. Turn those notifications on so you know when we go live or post a video. And here is our EFA mic drop moment.
European Short Film.
These are all the winners.
City of Poets.
The actual list.
European Young Audience Award.
Watch all of these films
Siblings.
and experience some non-Hollywood film.
European Discovery. On Falling.
Sure, if you can find them.
European Costume Designer.
I'll give you a link
Sabrina
if you need a link.
Kramer for Sound of Falling. European Production Designer. Leia Ateka for Sirit. European Sound Designer. Leia Casanovas for Sirit. Best European Makeup and Hair Artist.
If you wanted to know the list of who you want to hire for your next gig, there they
European
are.
Casting Director.
Price just
now-
went for
Asami.
Yeah,
Luis
the
Bertolo
price just
and
went up.
Maria Rodrigo for Sirit. European Composer. Original Score. Hani
I bet you
Arani
gotta
for
charge
Sentimental
double
Value.
now.
Best European Editor.
Didn't you do the
just went up,
score?
you
Hernandez for
fools.
Sirit.
Yeah.
Best
Yeah,
European
I
Screenwriter.
scored a lot. Oh, you're talking
Esco
about the
Voigt,
movie.
Joaquin
Oh, never
Trier
mind.
for Sentimental Value. European Cinematographer.
Oh, it's Trier.
Moral
I've been
Curse for
saying
Sirit.
Trier.
Best European Documentary.
Whatever.
Fume au Mort.
Don't go by the
Best
AI
European
pronunciation.
Animated Feature
Oh,
Film.
okay. I thought this was a real
Arco.
person. Okay.
Best
Ooh, that looks
European
fun.
Really?
Arco looks
Come
like a
on
fun
now.
film.
Renata Reigns for Sentimental Value. Best
Have you seen her
European
face before?
Actor.
I haven't. I feel like I've seen her
Stellan
somewhere, but I don't know
Skarsgård
where.
for Sentimental Value.
Yeah.
Renata Reigns.
Best
I looked at her,
European
I
her
have
up
to look at her
earlier.
face closer.
Joaquin Trier for Sentimental Value. Best European Film. Sentimental Value.
Best European film. There you go.
Yeah, no
Hello,
best.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Record.